Hi everyone, it's K-Red, and welcome back to part 2 of this project. Sat down today to work on a nice little random project. Thought we'd chat along as we did it. Maybe you can hear some of my thought process as how I decide. I would love to hear your thought process and how you decide and what you do for your projects. But for today, let's go ahead and pick up. I'll add a link up above. I'll add a link in the comments. You can visit my channel. And you can see part 1, so if you want to start back at the beginning. But this is where we are now. We started by drawing some nice little circles, filling them in. I decided I wanted some nice vertical contrast to it, so we're going to be working on those next. That video went long. It was probably close to 50 minutes, if not more, somewhere right about in there. So definitely was too long. I wanted to stop that and just start this fresh on a new time. So here we are. We've done the checkerboards. We've had definitely this reoccurring kind of arc pattern. These, and now this. So now we got up here, decide what we're going to do, decide what we're going to fill in here. I had thought about doing circles in there. Still debating it. I'm not real sure if that's what I want to do or not, but we'll see. We made this row with all dark circles to form like a circle line. I like the way that turned out, so I'm happy with that. And let's see where we move on to next. I don't think I want to do circles in here, so I think we're going to go ahead and erase that. I just don't think I'm in the mood to make that many circles all the way across. Oops, there goes my eraser. But let's grab our pencil and see another idea. What if we did a line straight down? How would that look? If we did lines that way, and we did kind of lines that way. Well, not so sure I'm in love with that either. I did erase some of my other pencil marks I have on here. See what other options are there. What if I did what Zentangle would call a mirroring and just do another line inside? And then maybe another one after that. Now these are hard because you'll notice every imperfection. Everything that is different or everything that is wrong will be like magnified if your lines aren't perfect, and I'm not feeling that either. We can go back to this and kind of continue this on, but do it slightly different. Where we go up into the top. And instead of the straight line, the top of it would be a curve. So let's do that again and see what it looks like. And see if we like it. So I'm not going to use this line at all. And we're going to go up into the one above. Then we'll do one about the middle. And then we'll do one down here. Consequently, we can do the opposite. We did that way. We can do this way. Not sure I'm happy with any of those. So if you're new to my channel, the way we're doing this drawing today is we're just kind of talking through my process, how I do it, how I decide. Normally when we produce pictures on here, this process has kind of been worked out in advance and you kind of see the end product, but thought it might be interesting to see how someone like myself, not an artist, just somebody who finds great joy in doodling and reducing my stress, to kind of work through these things and see what I think is pretty at the moment. So I'm still struggling in here, just not sure what to do. So when that happens to me too much, I usually just try to go somewhere else. So what if up here, on every one of these, tops of these, we do a circle? Not overly happy with that circle. So I'm going to get one of my helix tools. This is one of my older ones. You can see how many times it's cracked. And let's do, I think we're going to do the 3/8 circle and use this to make a circle that is a little more uniform. I don't typically mind a circle not being uniform unless it's large and prominent like this one would be. And then it irks me just a little. So then I just get my tool out and do that. I do like that. So I think that would be something that would be interesting doing. And what if we did that and then we outlined both? I think I'm going to like that much better. So let's do that. So let's start with maybe an 8 pin. What do you think? An 8. Oh. Let me find an 8. As I'm drawing, I don't ever put my pins back the way I should, so they're always a little everywhere. I like starting in the middle. I don't know why, but it is something. And I like to line up the arrows because it makes me feel like I'm a little bit more on mark. And I'll draw it. Now our rows were done in pencil so that we don't have to follow them. We can have a freedom to do something like this, or we decide it's really going to just be one bigger one. Just like that. And then I think I'm going to switch to a pin that is one size larger, which would be a 1/0 or a 10. Go. And I'm going to carefully attempt to outline these. And I am going to stop at the top and not completely go around the circle. My expectation is that I will keep that as a solid line. Now this one we didn't quite go to the top, so I'm just going to help it a little. I made that circle just a little high, but it's all right. Okay, pleased with that. I'm going to go ahead and move my pencil box just a little bit so I have a little bit more room. Whenever I draw a large arc, I try to make sure that I can do the arc in one arm movement. And that's why I moved things out of my way a little bit. Okay. So that's kind of fun. I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and go in. Give this just a second to dry. These pins do dry super quick, but if you erase them too quickly, especially with these thick markers, they can bleed just a little bit or smear just a little. So down here, I decided that I wanted to do this kind of a crisscross pattern. I mentioned in the other video that it is a Zentangle pattern. But I don't remember the name of it, so I will look it up. I'm going to try to do a little bit better job of crediting Zentangle patterns and all of that. And all you do is just arc up and then meet it. And you're going to do about the top 2/3, somewhere in there is where you're going to go up. How far you go down is totally up to you. I try to keep it a somewhat even spacing. And then where you stop is also up to you. I think I'm going to, well, connect those. I'm going to stop there because I'm almost tempted to darken that in, but we'll see when we get there. So now I'm going to do the same thing. You see this one a little bit better without all the pencil marks. So even though in the last video when I drew before, this was my plan, was to put this in there, I waited to do it because sometimes as you move forward, you change your mind or you decide to do something different. And I just was really distracted by another section and wanted to do that section while I was thinking of it, but I do still want to do the same. This project doesn't have a lot of dark space. I think it could benefit by having some foundation, something dark in it. So, how brave do I feel? I am tempted to put a little box in each of these. Let that one carry off, and just making that completely black. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. I think that will give it a little bit. I am a big fan of pages that have a lot of dark space on it, and I think that will go a long ways to doing that. So I went ahead, I grabbed my 12. The bigger the space I want to shade in, the bigger the pen I want. I'm going to go ahead and outline it. That's how I typically shade. And then fill it in. When you're shading in long, big areas or large areas, a softer touch is your friend. The ink just seems to blend better and you get less white spots when you apply a little less pressure. Or at least the pressure I'm used to. Maybe I typically add too much pressure as a possibility. But if I add a little less, I'm usually a little bit happier with it. Filling it in an area this large with like a 1 pen would be difficult, but certainly not impossible. And it would be really great for your mind. It'd be a great, repetitive, relaxing, meditative stroke. I'm gonna go ahead and finish that all the way to the edge. That I think could be really, really healthy for you. I really enjoy those. I'll be honest with you, I usually enjoy those better when they're done. I have a tendency to want everything done. Quick, get it over with. And that's not always the wisest. So now this area here has caught my eye. I think I want it to have a line, so I'm going to go ahead and give it that base. And now this up here will be dried plenty. And I can erase these and see what it looks like without all the distractions. How's everybody doing? Hope you all taking good care of yourselves. Giving yourself a couple minutes. Often we don't get time every day. I know they always say, oh, you have to, but really, the stress of taking time for yourself can sometimes stress you out more than doing it. But I hope you are often taking time for yourself, that you are prioritizing it. No stress when you don't, but relief when you do. Now here you can still definitely see my pencil mark was way too dark. I need to do a little bit better job of a lighter pencil mark because I am not happy with that being there, but it's there and I bent my paper erasing it. So, you know, these things happen. We'll just keep moving on. What I do like is I'm enjoying this little circle rim. I think that's really cool looking. So I am enjoying that. I'm glad that I did the checkerboards here and here. I think I'd like to add a little bit. I'm going to use a 1-0 pen and add a circle in between every conjunction. I just like that being broke up. I think it was the last video that I talked about using a piece of paper underneath if you didn't want to get ink on your table. And that way you could still get your corner circles in. I haven't decided if I'm going to let myself ink this up. All my other drawing boards, I have had no issue with them having the ink marks. In fact, I enjoy that they look well used. But this table, being new and being a little different, I don't know if I'm going to or not. So until I decide for sure, I'm going to take a little bit of care with it and put a pen underneath it for those. Like that. So now my eye is drawn to these, oops, some more eraser being needed. I don't always do quite as much pencil mark as I did on this one. Some of it's just been to explain to you what's going on in my head. I wouldn't have had to have put those pencil marks down. I would have known what I was going to do, and just I've done them later. So don't feel like you have to do it in pencil. Main things I do in pencil is stuff like up here where I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it or not. So what I do, where these join, I put like a small little triangle weight. I'm not doing the best job of it today. There we go, that's a little bit better. I took a breath, slowed my pen, which in effect slows my mind. If you're challenged with a racing mind, this can be beneficial. Sometimes before you go to bed, this can be a great thing to do. Kind of purge the day, slow everything up. Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe a little slow, but we are getting there. So I'm still trying to debate what I want to do in all of this and what I want to do here, and then I have all of this to think about. So I'm back to these where I'm not particularly pleased with them just being open. I do want some variance. So the first decision I have to make is, it looks like there are 3 typically in each of them. This one has 4, but we won't look at that one. We'll just keep going. They typically all have 3. So the decision made is, do I want to do something in 2 and leave a white strip, or do I want to do something in the 1 and have the 2? I can shade them in completely, but I think that's going to blend in with the line above it, and I'm not going to like that as well. We did the lines here and we did the lines there, so I'm thinking something along those lines would be good. I just have to decide, do I want it on 3 or do I want it on 1? I think I'm going to want it on 1. And I think I'm going to want it at a triangle, an angle. And I think we're going to do lines, and then we're going to turn the paper and do a cross stitch, a cross hatch, not a cross stitch because it's not a stitch, cross lines. One way, and then turn the paper and do the other way. Gives us a great shading effect. Lets in plenty of light. I'm in a very thin pen. It's an 005. It's the smallest pen I have, and I'm touching the paper very lightly and purposely not going to the edge so that it has a softer look. As I'm doing it, I'm thinking, gosh, I probably should have done the other way. Probably should have done 2 instead of 1, but it's all right. We'll just keep going. This is where we are. Next time, as I try to decide, I'll remember back today and think, oh, you really wish you'd done 2. Why don't you give that a try and see which one you end up liking? Time to breathe. When I produce this video and get it all set up in Final Cut Pro, I'll add a little bit of music back here so you don't have to listen to me jabber through all of it. We'll have a little bit of background music during some of the more mundane parts. I am not even really caring if all the lines and the slashes are going the same direction. Okay, so now I got to decide what to do here. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this one. And I think I'm just going to fill that in. So now I have 3. It just gives me a darker edge. Alrighty. Oops, I missed one. There we go. Yeah, that's all right. think what I'd like to do is get a thicker pen, maybe a 5. Not a 1, that's too thick. Here's a 5. And I want to go in and I want to darken just the outside line. Okay, this is definitely the pen that is dying, so I'm going to want to toss this pin aside so I don't keep picking this one up. And I'm not doing it on the inside ones, only on the outside. And I'm just wanting the shapes to be a little bit more defined. Sometimes I wonder when I watch these videos, I realize how many times I use the words like define or accent or dimension. That's another one I use a lot. I wonder if we always do that in our vocabulary and talking and we just don't ever realize it because we don't typically record our conversations and listen to them later. But you see how that changed it? It just changed it just a little bit. So I like that. I'm going to clean up a little bit of the areas that's not black, that's bothering me. Okay. And then I'm going to put this pen aside. So hopefully I won't pick it up again. So now we've got basically 2 full areas and then whatever little things we decide to do. We can decide to do something on these. I think we definitely have to do something there. And then of course we have a full row here and that's before we even get to our verticals. And we're already 20 minutes in. So let's see. Let's see if we can pick up the pace a little bit, make our decisions a little bit quicker than I have been. But the truth is, it's for the video that's making me want it to go quicker, because in reality, there is no hurry. We should be taking as long as I feel like. So, what if, in this area here, it's going back to my pencil, we put a circle in there. Or what if we use this line and we put a triangle in? I think I like the triangle more than the circle. So I could do a triangle there, and I could do a square up here, but a little bit larger of a square, so a little bit of a closer aura. I think I like that. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and let's just go to our pen. I really hate to use too dark of a 1. I'm tempted to use a 1, and I'm gonna use a 1. Once again, my pencil box was in my way, so we're gonna move that aside. Hopefully I'm still in the camera, and I have been. It is probably too dark of a line. It's going to make this top very, very busy. But I'm already committed. Now, if I was being honest, part of the reason I think I like that so much is it helped cover up my pencil line there. That was bothering me. And I think what I'm going to do is make all of these shaded in. Nice soft touch. Okay. There, I do like that. Let's go ahead and grab probably an 8. Let's do our top shape. And the bottoms are going to be arched differently than the top because I'm trying to follow the lines next to it. So these are definitely more of an aura box than they are just making a box. That was a little rough. Okay. So now I got to decide what I'm going to do in the circle and what I'm going to do in the boxes. So I think what I want to do in the boxes is only shade the bottom half. So I'm going to come to about the bottom. I'm going to shade that in, but with this pen it would take me way too long. So back to the 1 or 10, I should say. So in case you missed the first video, the way I do these random art projects or random patterns is I have no end goal in sight. I just draw one line after one shape and kind of see what I end up with. I will use some pencil just to help keep me anxiety free. I find I don't worry necessarily. This art project is purely for my enjoyment. It's not going somewhere, so I don't have to worry so much about you know, what I like or don't like about it. I think in the middle of these, I want a solid circle. Definitely turned out these to be kind of a little bit of an odd duck, as they would say. Not real sure. Little one-eyed people. Not real sure about all that. But we've done those shapes in there, so let's just continue with this whole shape theory. So let's do an arc here and color that in. We're going crazy now. We'll see how it ends up. We'll see how happy we are with it. Almost like trying new food. Maybe it'll be your new favorite. Maybe you'll never have it again. We're gonna go for it just the same. Alrighty. That's kind of interesting. Not sure I'm in love with it, but not sure I hate it either. So I don't want this line a little darker. But yeah, I'm okay with it. Shapes are a little awkward. I'm gonna go over and give them all a good solid baseline. Make them look a little sharper. Alrighty, that's intriguing. I'm happy with the balance. Oops, let's move it up. I realized I had it too close, sorry. Happy with the balance of light and dark. Not necessarily happy with the shapes. But I always do like a lot of dark on my paper, so I am happy with that. I have one section for sure here that I need to work on. Then we can kind of step back, do something different, and then decide where we're gonna go with that. And I'll be honest with you, no idea what I want to do in that section. Let's do triangles. Those are very odd shaped triangles. What I tried to do, and I think where I went wrong, is right here. I tried to use the shape above it to help me determine where the shape should go. And so put this down into the middle of the two, and then that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Not many triangles, but enough. What we want to do with them. I haven't really done some of my favorite little twirly lines. They are always my favorite. I could do that. Now what if we did them upside down, going the other way? That's not bad. But what I'm thinking of, and I'll walk you through it, I'm going to make these with a 1. I'm going to make my twirly things first. And what I'm thinking of is not having the lines at all. Just having them free fall and be there, kind of upside down from each other. Yeah, I like that better than the triangles. We could add a small little stem on the bottoms, and I like that. So I'm going to get my either a 1 or an 005. Here's a 1. That'll work out fine. I'm going to do all one way. And then all the other way. And I'm going to try to remember that I'm not doing a point. I'm doing just a, well, I almost think of it like a figure 8 or even like a package bow. And I want a solid center in the center of each of these. I can tie in that dark spots from the top. There, that's cool. And then I want a little solid dot in the middle of each of these. There we go. Happy with that. Do a little bit more erasing. This paper is a little small for the size eraser I'm using. It keeps picking up and bending the paper, but I'm all right with it. All right, so now we got our big bold lines. So I think what I'd like to do on these big bold lines is I'm really enjoying having a circle line. So I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to grab my 12. And I'm going to attempt, I've never done this, so we'll see how well it works, to make lines of all circles. I'm going to attempt to make them the same size. I want them to be close together, but not touching. Kind of a string of beads. And this will be a lot of circles, so hang in with me. Oh, no, that's a crazy idea. My arm is already tired, so I know I'm holding my pen way too tight. I'm holding my shoulders way too tight. Let's relax up a little bit. You don't have to press so hard. I'm talking to myself, of course, not you. Digging it. Something a little different at least. Too tight. Sometimes this drawing is ways to recognize your stress. You don't even always recognize that you're tense, or stress has such a negative word to it, but that you're holding some tension. You do something like this and you realize, oh, I'm holding my pen tight. No need for that. Just a nice little soft circle. Relax my shoulders, relax my mind. Alrighty, so now that I've done that, I have my division. Once again, off camera, I apologize. We have to work on this. I have my camera in a new location. I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, but we'll see. We'll see how well you can. See if I can scoop me over. That might help some. Now I gotta decide what I want to put in them. I'm not real sure. Let's start with something kind of flowing. Let's start with some nice big circles. And let's see, we'll put this in the middle. That'll give us a general gauge. Doesn't have to be exact, of spacing. And then on this one, I'm just, oops, I didn't put a line in there. But I'm just going to do the partial circle on that one. So what if I like to connect them this way with these big S's? put some things like this on the S's. Some on the other side. I don't know if I'm going to though. I don't usually like that, but maybe in this case it's looking okay. I get better than I thought I would. Yeah. Actually, I might like that. Okay, I like that. Then we'll have to decide what we put in each circle. Do we want like a small little simple mandala? No. Let's see, we'll come back and we'll decide. Let's see if we get a general idea. So we've done a circle on that one. What if we just put, let me grab my ruler. I'm not wanting to be exact, but just a little bit better than I was. A line across, super soft if I can. In fact, I'm going to switch to my other pencil because I really don't want these lines to stay. I just need a general idea. So I can stop and end the same. So we did circles in these. What if in these others, this one, I did something that was more of a triangle? And this one I did more of a square. And then in this one, do we repeat the circle? What do we do? What if we did something along these lines? All right, let's see where we go with all this. See where all of this ends up. Because I don't have a clue. So let's start by doing the circles. I like them. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my one so that my circle is dark. If I remember right, I did a 6/8. Doesn't have to be exact. Grab a, I'm going to pull out a 2 while I have it. I'm going to grab an 8. Am I in the camera? Oh, good, I am. I forgot to look. And then we're going to continue these lines with an 8. I'm going to give that just a second for that to kind of dry so that I can erase that because I'm going to want the flowers erased before I draw them. So then let's come back to the ruler and the pencil. Not worried about these being exact, but I think I would like them to be somewhat uniform. So I'm drawing those 3 lines down. And then I'm going to take, once again, my 8. And take the approximate middle And I'm going to do a slight triangle. It's not a triangle at all, it's a diamond. Down, so approximate middle. I'm letting the one on the top touch the one on the bottom. And then this one's going to go behind that. So on this one, I think what I'm going to do is I have those lines. I think I'm going to do straight down, and I made this one way too big. Well, now that I've done that, I think they're going to have to connect. So we're going to have to go straight down like this. And we're going to have to go straight down like this. And then we're going to add in the dividers. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. And I think I want to go from the 8 to a 5. Oh, that's right, I threw my 5 away. So we'll go to a 3. And let's pick a middle point. What I did is I drew both of the spirals first, and then I connected it so they could be about the same size. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I left this on the uptake so I could take it around, and I left this on the bottom so I could bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down. And we'll see what we do with that. So then now I'm going to go back to my 8. I'm going to go with this little jagged line. Okay, and then we'll see what we're going to do with all that. So let's get some erasing done. Edge, you do all your erasing one direction, then you won't bend your paper. Actually, anywhere if you do all your erasing in one. I'm just not usually that disciplined. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go down to my 3. And I'm going to carefully try to draw some petals. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. And I don't mind them getting bigger as they go up. 1, 2, and 3. Then try to bring the line back down so it can thicken a little. 1. Do you count when you do stuff like this? Not sure why. I will count to 3. I think I could mentally do that, but I do find myself I like to do that. Oops, that was way off the line. That one was too small. Okay. So here we'd be doing this, and there might be one small leaf like right there. All right. So I think what I want to do on this is continue up this line into an arc. I'll do some circles, open one, a closed one, and an open one. An open one, a closed one, an open one, and a closed one. If in the end I don't like this, I'll just make them all closed. This is always my favorite part of a project, where you have kind of the outlines all done and you're just going back in and adding little things. I enjoy that. It's a little bit less threatening. You almost need a fifth one here. Now my original plan on this was to do some lines like this rather than completely filling it in. We've got a nice weight and darkness on the bottom, quite a bit of black filled in. So I was thinking of not doing too much on the top, but we'll see. If this doesn't look right to me, I will just go back in and fill it in. But first glance, I'm okay with just the lines. Just a little more of a circle. Okay. So then let's go in and add just a little accent like this that just floats. There we go. I haven't made anything like this in a very long time. This is a little bit of a departure from what some of my other stuff on the channel looks like. So it's kind of fun. Do something a little bit different maybe. Clean it up a little bit maybe. So then I'm tempted, where my thought is going, is in another circle like this. And this bottom kind of like just a little bit of a thumbprint. Don't hate that. But I think I want a much darker pen for it. While I have my dark pen in my hand, I'm going to go back and add quite a bit of weight at the bottom of each stem. There we go. I think I'm going to get my one pen, and in these I'm going to do a line and a couple dots, however many fit comfortably. This is the kind of things that you can go on to forever. So at some point I need to do these other rows. I've been at another 55-minute mark. So I think this is actually going to be a 3-parter. I'm going to leave this here for today. Come back in just a couple days. I'll upload. We'll do these final 3 rows. We'll clean it up. We'll continue to add some little accents, some little things as we fill them and we move forward. And then maybe we'll even do some shading. We'll see how we feel at that time. So I appreciate you watching. A lot of these doodle projects are kind of fun because they're good in any direction, upside down or sideways. There really isn't much of an up and down, although when I started, it was definitely this, but I'm really kind of feeling it this way now. But come back in a couple days. We'll finish this project. I hope everything is well with you. Take time, remember to breathe, and stay safe. Bye.